the biggest win for me is that I don't feel constantly pain in my left hip, I used to have it all the time, and I used to feel numbness in my feet a little bit. Now I have these symptoms very rarely.
That's Galyna. She is a student inside of my Strength and Pain Relief Accelerator program. Before coming to me, she was diagnosed with a significant disc herniation that was leading to full left leg numbness as well as muscle atrophy. She is a young mom. She is a weekend warrior. She's a competitive volleyball player, and this chronic low back pain was debilitating. But today I want to break down her story and how she overcame this chronic back pain, how she is back to being an amazing active mom, and how she is back on the volleyball court doing her thing. First, let's start off with really just telling the people who are watching or listening this more specifically where you were before you even came into this process that you and I worked through. What was your pain like? What was your diagnosis?
In a few words.
In a few words, yes. You can take as long as you need.
My diagnosis was that I had hernia, and it was very big, and everyone was telling me that I need to do the surgery. And also my left leg was almost numb, and it was getting thinner. I think the muscles were not working and getting thinner through my recovery period. So there was one person who helped me to came over the pain and not to do the surgery. But after that, I still constantly had the problem. So I was one day I was fine, and the next day or next couple of weeks I was staying in my bed, and then I found another doctor, and I had I was using shots. How do you call them?
The injections or steroid shots, things like that.
Steroid shots. Yeah, and they were helping me a little bit. But then again, from time to time, I had these problems the same problem over and over again. And then I found you, and finally, I don't have this. I still have sometimes a little bit of the symptoms, but I don't feel pain anymore, and I can do almost everything I wanted to do. So that's amazing. That's awesome.
How, from the beginning of when your pain kind of became more of like, okay, this is like, I feel stuck in pain. How long would you say, up until this point now, how long was that time period when you were trying to navigate, obviously going back to when it was like the worst to when you started kind of gaining control? How long were you in pain for?
I think in general, I had pain about 2.5 years.
Okay.
But first time when I recovered, it seems I recovered and everything was fine. And then again, almost for the half of the year or even more, I was in this back forward situation where I didn't know what to do and where to start again, because nothing seems to be helping me. Like, it was helping in the beginning, and then suddenly it's not, and I couldn't understand what exactly I was doing wrong.
Yeah.
But the main idea in my head was that there should be either some medication or either some other treatment that should help me.
Yeah.
But I never thought that it could be just in my head.
And you mentioned, when it first kind of happened, you were having severe sciatica, severe pain.
It was very severe.
What were your symptoms? You said you kind of go back and forth. You'd have good days and bad days. You'd be like, you'd feel really good, then it would kind of fall off. That's the introduction that I got to you when you came into my world. What were your symptoms like? What was the up and down that you were experiencing?
So the bad days were when I was just lying in bed and I was working in my bed, and I couldn't sit for 30 minutes in the chair. Also, I couldn't drive a car for 10 minutes even, because it was hurting. So I would stay in bed for 2-3 weeks. Then I feel better. I started doing some exercises, like a little bit of exercise at home, just to see if I can stretch my muscles, or at least see what I'm capable of doing. And then suddenly I could go back again into the bed state, like staying in bed again. And it was very odd. Now I have a better understanding, much better, of what is happening. And I think a lot depends on the environment you live in. But you have to understand that, if you don't know what is the reason, and you think, yes, I need to have some medication additional, or I need to stay in bed for a longer time this time, and maybe this will help. So there is not the one reason. There are always multiple reasons, but huge influence is the environment you're in, I think.
And I think people don't realize realize or understand, people at least who don't deal with chronic pain, like the people who are watching this video are like you and I, right? They're either, obviously we're out of this chronic pain situation, but when you're living in chronic pain and you're living in a sense where it's like week to week, right? You go down and now it's like 3 or 2 or 1 week out where you're laying in bed. Like, we're not like exaggerating. Like, people are in such a severe situation where like they can't do much outside of essentials. Shower, take care of your kid.
Yeah.
Maybe cook a meal if you can, but then you're back to bed. And it's a very humbling, humiliating place to be when you're dealing with chronic pain. And most people who have never lived with chronic pain or who do understand the severity of how pain can affect our life and change our environment, both mentally and physically, they really don't understand. They see it like, you're just being lazy, you're being a wimp, you're being, sensitive. But no, like, pain is very, very real. And it can get to the point where it's become so severe that the only thing that makes sense physically is to just lay down and do nothing. So I just want to highlight that, like, it's not just that people say, oh, I can't. For example, I had a conversation with a gentleman the other day that his pain system is so tuned up that he has to wear like elastic bands for pants, like his having compression creates pain and it just compounds and compounds. So I just want to kind of really quick highlight that. That's a real life thing. And I'm so happy that you're not in those situations anymore. So
the worst thing is that you get scared.
Yeah.
And when you are scared, this is like crazy. You think that even your very small movement can hurt you. So yeah, that's the very hard place to be in and very hard to get out of it when you are scared. Even now, I started to play beach volleyball again, and I still can catch myself on some thoughts where I'm a little bit scared, or I think, okay, I played this week 2 times. I think that I should stop. I will do it next week again. So, but yeah, that's something I'm working on, and I think I need to get rid of these thoughts as well.
Yeah,
if I want to continue playing and enjoy it.
So each person's story is very unique. You may have a disc herniation like Galyna here, or you may have multiple herniations or bulges, or maybe you're post-surgery after repairing your herniation, but you're in chronic pain, right? You have tried everything. You've tried PT, you've tried injections, you've tried physical therapy, traction, all the things that your medical professional is telling you to do, but you're still living with chronic pain, or the things that you're doing are just kind of treating the symptoms and not actually getting to the root cause. If that is you and you're like, I'm ready to get off of this cycle of pain, let's have a simple conversation to see if what I do can actually help you. If you are serious about getting help, you can go to fitnessforbackpain.com/apply. That'll give me a little bit of information about your unique situation, which will allow us to have a very intelligent conversation around what you need to do to get out of pain. Go to fitnessforbackpain.com/apply if you are serious about getting help. Now let's jump back into the video. Absolutely. What would you say was the most frustrating part about trying to get help? So you got help, you saw some relief, your life kind of changed, then you kind of were on this roller coaster of symptoms. At that point, before you found what we did, what was the most frustrating thing that you kept running into when you were trying to get relief?
That no one can help you. Like, you hit the wall and you don't know where is the next station, where to go and how to ask for help. Because I had really good doctor, and I got to the point when I came my last visit, I remember it was in the beginning of this summer. I came to him with MRI and he said, I don't see the reason for surgery, so I can't send you there, but I also don't see the reason why you're in this pain. So you just have to deal with this. It will go away. Right. And I was in pain, really. And I was like, okay, what should I do? Like, no one can help me. Even the doctor, the best doctor I thought is the best doctor, he's telling me he doesn't know what to do. So I think this was the most frustrating thing for me. Yeah, because I always am that type of person who needs to have a plan. Like, if I know that in the future I will feel better, I will do this, this, and this until I get there. Yeah. And I was doing this, I got there, and then I moved back again into the same situation. And there I was no one being able to help me.
What were some of the things that you were doing during that time? Again, before you and I started to connect, what were some of the strategies that you were implementing in hopes of kind of getting out of this situation?
So in the beginning, when I was in very bad pain, I had a couple of shots. After that, when the pain was a little bit gone, I was trying to do some simple exercises, a simple one at home, very simple. And when I thought I'm feeling better, then I could start the gym. But I couldn't start gym because I didn't feel better. I felt better one day a little bit, and then next day it was again the same, even though I was trying to start very slowly with the exercises and everything. That was my strategy.
Now, we'll kind of fast forward a little bit, and then you discovered my content. I think, did you find me through like a YouTube video or something like that? Or
yeah, I think it was YouTube. I just Googled back pain or something, and I started to listen to different stuff. And then I found your video, listened to it, and then there was I could schedule a meeting with you. And after we talked, then I decided, yes, I can try that because there is no other things I can try, and I have to try something else. And this was something new that you were telling me. But truth be told, in the beginning, I was a little bit skeptical. Yeah. So.
And that was my next question for you, is like, how did you feel coming into like committing and saying, okay, yes, I'm going to do it? How did you feel? Like, where were you at mentally? You said you were skeptical?
Yes, but still I was listening to the videos, trying to do the things, but very much what changed my mind is the book of David Hanscom. I listened to it like in a couple of days. I listened to it because it was very relevant to me and it was easy to listen. And then like everything clicked, and I started to, and your material that you were telling, it clicked in my head also. So then I think it started to make sense.
That's awesome. I think there's a lot of different, when it comes to healing chronic back pain, there's a lot of different switches that will resonate with some people, right? Some people resonate with just like being told, hey, I know you have a herniated disc, I know you have a bulging disc, but truth be told, like you're very strong and your body is very capable, even with herniations and bulges, to twist and bend and extend and all these things, despite the sensations you might be having. And just being told that, their brain's like, oh, okay, well, let me try that movement out. And then they discover, wow, I feel better. And that's like a switch for them. Some people need to be like introduced to a concept around this, whether it's mind body stuff or whether it is like applying the mind body to like movement and exercise. And these switches start getting flipped. And I think I love seeing what aspect of the work that you do in the program turns that light bulb on, because everyone has a different light bulb moment at different parts of the process. Some people, they overlook the most important stuff, right? And that is the desensitizing work that you do. It's the calming of everything, bringing that down and prioritizing that first. A lot of people are like, well, no, this is just kind of like nothing. I'm going to get to the exercises, and they miss the most important part. And that's what I love about what you did is you went all in, just like you said, like you're the type of person that, like, as long as you have a plan, it's okay to be skeptical. You're going to be skeptical. You're going to be nervous because it's a different process. It's not PT or rehab type of things at first. And I love that you just kind of dove head first despite your skepticism, and look what it's done for you, right? You feel better and you have a whole different perspective on it. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I wanted also to mention about the second book, The Way Out.
Yeah.
That's also a very great book, and it is very easy to read. Couple of days and it's done. And it has some techniques also how to calm down yourself and deal with this pain. So these two books are like the best, and they must be read by everyone, even people who don't deal with chronic pain, because there are a lot of aspects that change your mindset and how you see the world.
Love that.
But then again, what I wanted to say that from my very childhood, I still remember people saying like, when you have a back pain or problems with back or herniated disc, that's it. Like your life is over. So that's something that you have for the whole life in your head, and that's very hard to change when you see the different stuff, because you think when you have a back problem, it's not possible for you to do these things you used to do. And that's it, because that's how you have been told for the whole of your life, not even doctors, but doctors, other people around. And so that's why I think most of the people, they have this already, the mind has been already made up by other people and other thoughts.
Yes, I love that. That is so true, and I see it in just about every person that I have ever worked with. When you start talking about what they've been told by doctors, like, and it's crazy what doctors will tell people. Like, I was talking to an individual the other day, and this is more of the extreme, but I had a guy tell me that the doctor was like, yeah, like, I don't know where you're going to be at in a year. You might be in a wheelchair, you might be a paraplegic. And I'm like, you're like, why would they tell you that stuff? I mean, it doesn't matter what your situation might be, like, that is not life-giving to people, right? And people when we look at doctors or adults or parents or grandparents at that whatever age, and you're told, protect your back, don't do anything crazy. Once your back goes out, you're done. Like, that sticks with you, and that creates a traumatic experience that will play out as an adult, because that's what you were told, that's what you believe. And it's just not true. It's just 100% not true. So I love that. What, kind of fast forward, obviously, to where you're at now, what would you say, is the most exciting thing that you feel like you've gotten back? Like, what are some big wins that you have experienced that you've been really pumped about doing again?
Obviously, it's volleyball. I'm very happy to start playing again. Of course, I'm not playing at the same level I used to, and I'm still have this scary thing in my head, but at least I started, and I know that once, two times per week, I can do it. Yeah. And I feel good after. But the biggest win for me is that I don't feel constantly pain in my left hip, I used to have it all the time, and I used to feel numbness in my feet a little bit. Now I have these symptoms very rarely. But if I remember myself back like half a year ago, I had it for 2.5 years every day. You wake up every day with the same pain. And I'm not telling about pain when you're scared to turn in your bed. That's one type of pain. But this pain I had in my left side, the lower part of the body, it was living with me all the time. And I was thinking like, it will never go away. This is how I have to be like this from now on. Yeah. And now I don't feel it. I can feel it just a little bit, some signs of it. And it's very rarely like when I'm stressed or have a lot of work and doing a lot of sitting at the table. Yeah, but most of the time I don't have it. And this is amazing. I catch myself every day on this thought, like, wow, you don't have it. And it's good. And I can carry my baby. I have 2-year-old son. Yeah. He's very heavy.
Big baby.
So not a baby anymore, I would say. But yeah, which is also good.
Yeah, that's awesome. This can be fun to ask, because everyone has very little things in their mind that like because of pain, they were very scared to do. Have you noticed any like little things? And it could be like, I'll use myself, for example. When I was at the worst of my pain, my now 11-year-old, she, as a brand new infant, like I couldn't even put her in the crib because, you know, that weight being over. And then like, I felt like I was going to fall into the crib and my back was going to go out. So being able to experience that with my second child, who's now 8, and be able to do it all pain-free, like that's a little thing that means nothing to some people, but it was such a big thing. Do you have any daily things that you're like, oh wow, I can brush my teeth now, or I can wash dishes, I can do the whole kitchen in one go now? Do you have any kind of small thing that you notice that has changed in a positive way?
I think it's just to pick up stuff on the floor. The baby. Yeah. Putting my baby into the bed the same way. And for me, it was horrible, especially at night. Sometimes when he was smaller, when I had these problems. So he was waking up at night, like babies do. And for me, it was nightmare. Yeah. But some simple things, like I said, just picking up some stuff, sitting and working for 1 hour. Yeah. Amazing, huh? You can sit and not to think about your back. Again, driving, same way. And 2 years ago, before my trauma, I didn't even think about this stuff. No, you never think about it. And then it just popped and you have it in your head every day. Yeah.
What would you say to someone who is kind of on the fence? Like maybe we're having a conversation and they're trying to decide whether or not this crazy person on YouTube will actually be able to help them with their chronic pain. What would you say to encourage them to invest in themselves?
Because I'm that type of person who is always trying everything that might help, I would suggest to try anyways, because you don't lose anything, right? You will gain some new knowledge, and then you will see if it can help you or not. But you have to try. If you want to get better, you have to try.
I love that. Well, I appreciate you, Galyna, for just jumping on here and having this conversation. Like I said, just being where you're at, your season of life, I think it's a lot of people that I work with, and just to see the fact that, you know, and you're honest about it, like getting out of chronic pain is a process. It's not something that happens overnight. Some people can do it in 10 weeks. Some people need 18 weeks. Like, everyone's different, but what matters most is not, okay, I've succeeded, like it's gone forever, because that's going to happen, the chronic pain. But what we're doing is understand that this is a process, and that process has ups and downs, ebbs and flows. And if you're consistent with it, you're literally changing the way your body and brain operate and perceive pain and danger signals, and like what used to hurt you, now it doesn't hurt you. Like you said earlier, sometimes I go out there and play volleyball and I'm like, I should probably stop. Like, that's a normal protection mechanism. It's a normal thing that's happening. And what you have to do is, it's okay to have those thoughts. It's like, you can't say, don't think about the white elephant, because guess what you're going to think about? The white elephant. Right. So, okay, like, don't think about your pain. Like, that's not the goal. Like, we have to be outcome independent, and we have to always replace thoughts as often as we can with the opposite of what's actually that fear, right? Like, what if I did too much, right? Like, no, like, I'm fine, I'm strong, I'm progressing, I'm seeing relief, I've got proof. You have evidence. It's hard when you don't have any evidence yet. Like, you're just starting, right?
Exactly.
But you have evidence. You have progress markers that you've achieved. So what you're doing is working. It just, when you're rewiring your body and brain, it just takes time. So keep it up. You're awesome. I know you're heading into phase 2, Accelerator Strength. So we're going to talk about that here in a second. But I just want to say thank you for jumping on this time, or this call, and just sharing your story.
Thank you.
So awesome. Galyna is just one of the stories that I have shared here on my channel. You can go back through the playlist of testimonials of students who have gone through the Strength and Pain Relief Accelerator program. If you are at the point where you feel stuck, you feel like giving up, throwing in the towel, having that surgery, having another surgery, taking that medication, and you're like, you know what, there's something different about this. I got to do something different. And I hope that that's what you're thinking, because more surgery, more injections, another opinion, another PT round, another chiropractor round is not what you need. And I can prove it to you. I can show you how much different your strategy needs to be than what you've been doing. You've just got to give me a chance to have a live conversation to see where you're at. If you're interested and you're serious about getting my personal help to get you on the path of getting out of pain, back into strength, and doing the things that you want to do confidently without stretching, drugs, medication, things like that, go to fitnessforbackpain.com/apply. That'll give me a little bit of information about your unique situation, which will give us an opportunity to have an intelligent conversation live to see if what I do can actually help you. Just go to fitnessforbackpain.com/apply, put your information in there, grab a time for us to chat, and we'll have that conversation. Thanks for watching. God bless, and I will see you on the next episode.